This is the Predator podcast, brought to you by Predatar, the recovery assurance platform built for complete confidence.
Hey, how's it going, guys? Welcome back to a special episode of the Predator podcast. And today we're going to be pretty much giving like an overview of all the developments that have happened in the podcast and the software over the last year. And to join me to do that is...
Yeah, I'm Rick Norgate. I'm the Managing Director from Predatar. Thanks for having me, Savi.
No problem at all. I'm actually excited about this because I've just started and I'm trying to learn more every day about the software. And Rick is going to be giving us an overview exactly that. So to dive in, let's kick off with what were the major milestones that the team achieved this year with Predatar?
I think there's been a number of good milestones this year. So some of them are technology, some of them are, I guess, more business orientated. Mm-hmm. So I think the first major milestone this year was launching our Apex Partner Program. So that's where we've taken a number of selected business partners from around the globe, typically resellers or businesses offering managed services around backup and security. We've selected a number of those and then we've trained those up to a really high level with Predatar. What that means is if customers want to buy Predatar, there'll probably be an implementation partner closer to them or within their region that can implement Predatar and help them deliver that, which is great because obviously, as you know, we're based in the UK and the US, but there are companies all around the world that maybe want Predatar and would rather have a business partner slightly more local than the UK or US. So launching that program, I think, great for us, great for the partners involved, great for customers all around the world that want to take part in Predatar. So I think that's probably highlight number one. Other highlights probably worth calling out are more platform focused. Okay. So this has been a big year for Predatar with a number of, I guess, firsts for us. So for the last 10 years, we've focused on the IBM technology stack when it comes to Predatar. This year, we've broadened out. So that started with support for Cohesity. And that was really in conjunction with IBM when they launched their Storage Defender product. As most people will know, they did an OEM with Cohesity. So as part of that, we also brought in support for Cohesity for our cyber recovery orchestration. On the back of that, we had customers and business partners asking us if we were going to do any other platforms. And we've followed on Cohesity with IBM Flash System, which is really important. That means customers can now test both backups and their primary storage in one clean room. And then following on from that, as we saw in our 14 Eagle, just launched a couple of weeks ago, we brought in Veeam support. Again, which broadens the market for us. It also means for customers, maybe where they've got a mix of Spectrum Protect from IBM, or Storage Protect, I should say now, Veeam, which is quite a typical combination, and maybe some Flash System from IBM as well. They can have Predatar across all of that without having to rip and replace the Veeam element out for a different product. So it's very non-disruptive for customers and means they can test all of their products in one place. So yeah, really, really excited by that.
That is so cool. It sounds like we've had a very busy year this year. And obviously there was dark mode as well, which is one of the favorite features to come on Predatar.
Yeah.
From the last webinar, you talked about how that was the second most requested feature. Any particular reason why that was the case?
Well, I think I said on the webinar and at Control this year, it did surprise us that dark mode, or as we call it, dark night, was so requested. I think what that shows you is, having functionality and coverage for different products is obviously super important, but usability of products these days in a business environment is getting more and more focus. I think my theory on that is when you look at the apps that you use at home and the software you generally use at home, as a business to consumer relationship, it's generally really high quality. A lot of business applications have lacked that. You think about some of the things you use at home, then you come into the office, some of the tech that you're using isn't as easy to use. I think people now expect that, whether it's at home or work, is that same level of intuitiveness, polish. So that's something we've worked hard on, and I think that's probably why customers are asking for a dark mode, because they're getting that at home on the applications they use. Why can't they expect the same at work?
It makes a lot of sense, and you make a great point. Like the people use software now. They're very familiar with software, and when they come to the office, they expect the same, like you said, user friendliness. So that makes a lot of sense. What would you say was the biggest challenge, whether it be business or platform wise, and how did you guys how did we overcome that?
What's been the biggest challenge this year?
Yeah.
I guess one of the biggest challenges we had was with our clean room technology. So we talked to over 200 customers, or end users I should say, and business partners when we were developing and coming up with the concept of our clean room.
Okay.
And one thing they all said was, we want to do scanning, we want to be able to scan backups to make sure that they're malware free. We want to be able to do that without installing anything on those virtual machines. So I don't want to install a Predator client on my virtual machines. And ideally, I don't want to have to give you any kind of administrator access to those virtual machines. So we want to be able to scan them without installing any third-party components or giving you admin access to those. So, and they were very loud and clear on that, the people that we spoke to. So that was a big challenge to crack, is how do we scan these machines without installing anything, without having any user credentials shared with the Predator platform. Obviously, we've done that. We provide what we call agentless scanning, which means we can scan virtual machines and other workloads without installing anything on those virtual machines or workloads and without credentials. That was a difficult challenge to crack, and it's probably the one I'm most proud of that our developers and our engineers solved. So I'm super impressed with that.
Yeah, I can imagine, because I suspect they don't want third-party access to like some critical secret data or something like that. So okay.
If you think about, if they give us an admin account or a user account into those virtual machines, and let's say we got compromised and someone got hold of those credentials, that bad actor's now got access to that customer's environment using credentials that they're not 100% in control of. So by keeping us obviously segregated from that, it just minimises their risk. Should we ever get compromised, we don't then compromise their environment. So it was really important for our users to have that.
Yeah, sorry, I was going to say, I think this is a very important, because of I think customers like you found out is something that is very important to them. I think this is something we're going to have to create more content around, and let people know that Predator is not going to access your data. So maybe that's something me and Ben will talk about later. But yeah, and okay, so obviously this is like an end of year overview of the software. What are you most excited about looking for the next 12 months? What can customers and end users expect from Predator?
I think two things.
Okay.
The Apex Partner Program will be growing into more territories next year.
Nice.
We have a backlog of applications that we need to work through and schedule that education and onboarding. So, for example, in January next year, we're bringing on a Canadian partner called Rock Vault. That'll be our first Canadian Apex partner.
Nice.
So really excited to work with Dave and his team over in Canada to get them onboarded. And there'll be more to follow in other territories throughout 2024.
Nice.
Second thing is, as we're starting to broaden into more platforms, so as I said, Veeam, Cohesity, IBM Flash system, we're getting asked to do more and more. So the big ones for H1 next year, or the first 6 months, are Pure Storage. That's coming early in Q1 next year, followed by Rubrik, followed by Dell Power Protect. So with those three on board, it's going to give us really good coverage. And what that means for customers is if they've got any combination of any of those platforms, they can bring Predator in to do their cyber recovery testing, malware scanning, anomaly detection, cyber resiliency dashboards, without having to rip and replace anything. So it makes it very, obviously, cost effective, easy to deploy, extremely low risk, because you're not replacing any of your backup platforms or storage platforms. You're just sliding Predator in and augmenting what you've already got. So really, really excited to be growing that ecosystem of integrations next year. I think that will be one of the big things. And there are some surprises in the roadmap as well. I'm not going to spoil those now, but some real good innovations coming out of our R&D team for 2024.
Sounds like an exciting 2024, and I'm looking forward to it as well. Rick, this has been awesome. You've given us an overview of the software, giving us where we've come from at the beginning of the year and what to expect in the new year. And it's going to be an exciting time for Predator. Thank you so much for doing that. And thanks guys for watching. And We'll see you in the next episode of the podcast.
Thanks for tuning in to the Predatar podcast. Brought to you by Predatar, the recovery assurance platform built for complete confidence. Learn more at predatar.com.